music plays on. Glad you're all here tonight. Yet another reminder that we are now on our own YouTube channel, streaming live. So all performances are available. If y'all, Chuck, if you want to watch and hear yourself tomorrow or the next day, Lena's Place Coffeehouse YouTube channel is the place to go.
That's nice to know. My daughter's watching it tonight.
Excellent. Excellent. Tell her to give it a shout out. I think you can.
Oh, I think she can.
Okay.
Considering what she usually can shout out. Yeah.
All righty. Evelyn, are you nearby? Carol, if you would get Evelyn. Typically at this point I announce the charity. Tonight I have no inkling. Evelyn had decided that she wanted to come down and speak to it. And so in a few minutes we will have Evelyn talk to you about where your generosity this evening is going to. But a couple of announcements here. Next month is George Hergen and Andy Offit-Irwin, which is going to be a very, very good show. And of course, January is the 42nd, get this, the 42nd anniversary of the Bob and Beetle Show. So, you all will not want to miss that. To our friends and colleagues at Fiddler's Green, next week, next Saturday, is Sparky and Rhonda Rucker. And they're annual visitors, I believe, right, at Fiddler's Green, pretty much. And they'll be taking both sets. So I'm sure that's going to be a great show because Chris and Carol provide great shows every week. So with that, Evelyn, you want to come up and talk to the folks about the charity tonight?
Well, November has Veterans Day in it, and we have been, over the last few years, dedicating the proceeds of our November concert to obscure and underfunded programs that are working with individual veterans. And it's through a program at the VA, which is currently dealing with shutdown struggles as well. So our dollars are particularly appreciated. And one of the members of the congregation here has been a chaplain at the VA for a number of years. And he assured us that that money is so valued and appreciated, and the veterans that get to do something a little special really do ask that we be thanked, although I think we're the ones thanking them. So thank you for sharing tonight with those wonderful people who have given so much. Enjoy the music.
Thank you, Evelyn. Well, folks, for the first set, this gentleman is no stranger to Lena's Place. Chuck, I think you first played here when?
I did the audition August of '88, and my first performance was October, I believe. I'll have to check Jerry's book. But I think it was October '88.
88.
I was 12 years old.
That's a long time. Chuck has been described as a traveling minstrel, heavily influenced by Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger. His music is elegantly simple, and his ballads will touch your heart. Y'all, please give a great Lena's Place welcome to Chuck Henderson.
And as a veteran myself, I want to say how much I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
My first song was inspired by the owner of a ranch that I lived on near Sebastopol, California. Bob was 77 when I met him, and since his grandfather founded the ranch, there were 3 full generations of memorabilia all over the place, including in the barn, a saddle that Bob had won when he had a rodeo when he was 17 years old. And even though he could no longer ride due to a back injury, at least 2 or 3 times a week, he would be out in the barn polishing that saddle. And one evening, I was walking past the barn, and I was looking at one end, and through the other end, the setting sun was shining. And there in the middle stood Bob with his cowboy hat on the back of his head, his arms folded across his chest, and he was just staring down at the saddle in what I would call an eternal moment. And I thought, good Lord, there's a song in here somewhere. And there was, and I call it Flowers Among the Graves. Sitting by the back porch, staring at the spot where he used to throw his old dog a bone. But the dog is long since gone the way of all he ever loved, and the old man waits to watch another twilight alone. Dreaming of the years he was a true child of the wind. Now he tries to reconcile where he is with where he's been. And he's thinking of the saddle gathering dust up on the floor and a corner of the room where he retired 80 years before. The old clock on the nightstand ticks off the seconds in rhythm to the creaking of his ancient rocking chair. He rubs a leather hand across the gray stubble of his beard, wipes away a tear that somehow sneaked across his face from out of nowhere. But whether tears of joy or sorrow can tell, it's been both sand and water that he's drawn from the well of his years. Years without reason, like a trail that twists and twines through the seasons of his life. They seem to be entwined, bringing dreams like darkness. Showers cool the summer days, streams across life's deserts, and flowers among the graves. Treasures on his dresser, pictures on the wall, turning in the old man bids good night to each and all. And he wonders if he's crazy for talking to himself as he reaches for the tattered Bible resting on a shelf. He reads a verse or two, they leave him feeling whole. Just an old man trying to tie up all the loose ends of his soul. But it's late and time to let go of the day's concerns and cares. So kneeling by his bed, the old man says his nighttime prayers. One for the wife who passed on some years before, and the daughter who lives in town where her husband runs a store. One last prayer of gratitude, for though he lives alone, he's glad he's where he's at, and not some damned old nursing home. Sitting on the back porch, staring at the spot where he used to throw his old dog a bone. Thank you. I spent several years of my career working on projects for the homeless population. And I got 4 songs out of that experience. And they're all on my YouTube channel, just folk singer Chuck Henderson. I call it my quartet for the homeless, and I'm not going to sing all of them tonight, unless anybody has some soul off to pass out, because it's kind of dark. But this one is one that I started writing, and I never could get it to go exactly where I wanted it. Until one morning, I was having breakfast at that little haven of culinary atrocities called the Majestic over on Ponce. And I was looking out the window at the Presbyterian church across the street, and there were 2 guys there getting their kids together and getting ready to meet the day. And I don't think they actually slept. In fact, that church did have a shelter that they sponsored right next door. But all of a sudden, I knew where I wanted to take the song. And so I call it Resurrection. Empty cathedral doorway, 2 men's hotel for the night. Each had a ticket for the shelter till Pete lost a rolling dice. Jesus Montoya up from Mexico came looking for the cities where the streets of gold. Got taken instead for everything he owned, barely hung on to his soul. And Pete was a taker, and he had been on his days, spent a lifetime running from the dues most others have to pay, till there was little left to park alongside of his life's dark one-way street. But a rusted out old jalopy of the man he used to be. Jesus handed Pete a sandwich of day-old bread and cheese, but Pete cast a greedy eye on the bottle Jesus held between his knees. That bread may fill my stomach, Pete said, so I've been told, but it's the wine that fills the hole at the bottom of my soul. Then he grabbed that crystal crucifix and he aimed it toward the moon, tipping it up like a clarinet. Christ, he played the same sad tune, and he don't mind if it leaves him blind. He's nearly halfway insane, long as the mad dog's bark carries away the chill and modifies the pain. Then Pete started rambling on about all he had lost, and how, judging from the locked-up churches, the last true Christian died on the cross. Jesus said to Pete, can't you do nothing but complain? You'd be crying for a drink of water, boy, if you was standing in the rain. You want some peace of mind, take your mind off yourself. You want to see the face of Christ, try helping someone else. But Pete drifted off to sleep. He could not understand, muttering, it's me and you forever, Jesus, cause you my man. Well, a cop came upon him. He was returning from a call, going to take him to a shelter, get him warm, that was all. But Pete thought he was being busted. I guess that's why he attacked. And the cop feared for his life, and he started fighting back. Jesus jumped between them, screaming, you don't know what you're doing. But a nightstick swung and unfocused fear brought about his ruin. He slid down to the pavement, dreaming of Mexico, while his life slipped from his body and his blood stained the snow. The cop knelt by Jesus, feeling somehow down, while Pete just grabbed the bottle and quickly took it on the lam. But he's been fishing for answers since, to his fear and shame and his doubt, and what it was about that evening that turned him inside out. The mystery of what happened just would not go away. And for the first time in his life, Pete felt there were dues he had to pay. Nighttime falls on the empty churches, and the snow falls on the ground, and the furrows of chosen few, their fire barrel altars gather round. Locked out of the kingdom, they hardly stand a chance, 'cause when you have nothing to pay the piper with, you lose your right to dance. And Pete walks there among them, sharing what he can, sandwiches, a bottle, any kind of help in hand. And together they brave the weather, and they talk of better times, speak of what they used to have, and try to figure the reason and the rhyme. And in the shadows of those steeples, those ragged, cast-off people share their open air communion on stale bread and bitter wine. Thank you. This next song was inspired by my maternal grandfather and a run-in that he had with the Klan back in the 1920s when the Klan was having its resurgence. You know, one way to get my grandfather to do something is to tell him not to do it. He, as this song says, went to a meeting, didn't like what he saw at all. And when he was telling me about it, I think he could be very succinct. And when I asked him what his thoughts on the Klan were back then, he said, "They were a bunch of damn crooks. That's all. Just a bunch of crooks." And that was his take on it. And so I call this song "Run In with the Klan." Oh, Granddad was a mill hand, started at age 9, sweeping fours for just pennies, made for him and then retired. He always was a thinker, a self-educated man. 1927 had a run-in with the Klan, had a run-in with the Klan. The Klan was seeking members who'd gladly pay their dues for the right to blame their troubles on Catholics and Jews, for all the pain life handed them, for all the things they lacked. Easiest of all, they could blame it on the blacks. They could blame it on the blacks. He went to a meeting, did not like what he saw. He tried to tell them off, and that's all there was to all. He said, "The black man's life is hard enough. Don't need no grief from you. I have no Catholic enemies. And my Savior was a Jew. My Savior was a Jew. That's where the lines were drawn. They said, you've seen our face. Join us now or some night soon. We'll come by your place." A chill went up his spine. A lump rose in his throat. He backed out with his hand around the pistol in his coat, in the pocket of his coat. Next day, he went walking down the main street of town. Went inside the hardware store, laid some money down for 50 rounds of buckshot, a 12-gauge double bore that everybody noticed as he walked home from the store. He walked home from the store. When he arrived, his wife was upset. A preacher down the street made a not-so-subtle threat. He was a peculiar preacher, kind of double-thinking man. He could preach the love of Jesus and like crosses for the clan. He lit crosses for the clan. Granddad grabbed an axe handle, said, "Enough, no more." Preacher saw him coming, sent his wife to the door, slithered through the house, tried to sneak out back. But Granddad was waiting, and he gave him quite a whack. He gave him quite a whack. And when the dust had settled, no more trouble with the clan. 'Cause axe handles do speak a language that most folks can understand. When he told this story to me, 50 years had come and gone. His days were growing short, his nights were growing long. He stared down at the ground, then grinned from ear to ear, said, "They're all dead in hell, I guess, but me, I'm still here." Granddad was a mill hand, a self-educated man. 1927 had a run-in with the clan. Thank you. I'm going to do one now by Leonard Cohen. All the sisters of mercy are not forgotten, they're gone. They were waiting for me when I thought I could not go on. Brought me their comfort, and later they brought me a song. Oh, I hope you run into them, you've been traveling so long. Yes, you must leave everything you can't control. It starts with your family, soon gets around to your soul. On a bed where you're hanging, and I think I know just how you're been. When you're not feeling holy, your loneliness tells you you've sinned. Well, they lay down beside me and I make my confession to them. They touch both my eyes and I kiss the dew on their hem. If your life is a leaf that the seasons tear up and condemn, they'll bind you with a love that's graceful and green as a stem. When I left, they were sleeping. I hope you run into them soon. turn on the light. You can read their address by the moon. And it won't make me jealous to learn that they've sweetened your night. We weren't lovers like that. And besides, it would still be all right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to do a blues number that I started writing several years ago, but I think I was on my way here to play here. I'd been to a creative workshop, and the director challenged us to write a song or a short story about something we saw on the road while we're driving somewhere. And we're talking about Georgia highways here, so it's no strange thing to start off with the line with like armadillo on the highway, dead possum in the dirt. But I call this Same Old Pair of Shoes, and it's based on my favorite definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results each time. Armadillo on the highway, dead possum lying in that dirt. Hitchhiker by the roadside, cut off jeans and dirty shirt. I see her looking my way. I think, no, this one's gonna hurt. Her eyes in the water, just waiting for another catch. Well, the line is in the water, just waiting for another catch. I'm a pocket full of dynamite, just waiting for another match. I've sung this song a dozen times and it always sounds the same. The smiles at the beginning, when it's over all the pain. My friends say I'm crazy, my doctor says I'm sick, but I keep a hope 2 + 2 someday will equal 6. Well, the new day comes knocking, seems to always meet it at the door. A new day comes knocking, seems to always meet it at the door. And the same old suit of clothes that I wore the day before. Now there's no money in my pocket, no gas in my tank. My road gets rough and rocky, and there's only me to thank. I keep crying to the heavens about having to sing the blues, then go walking toward the future in the same old pair of shoes. Everybody gets rejected, everybody sings the blues. Everybody gets rejected, everybody sings the blues. Before we're resurrected, we all gotta pay some dues. Some years ago, I got a phone call from a friend of mine in Asheville. And she asked me if I'd ever gone to a poetry slam. Now, what I thought I heard her say was a poultry slam, which conjured up some rather bizarre images in my mind. But we got that straightened out, and I said, why? And she said, well, that we're having a lot of them up here in Asheville, and I thought it'd be neat for you to go up and do some of your songs as poetry. I thought, well, why not? And so I did, and I'm going to do one of them tonight. This was one that came out of my work with the homeless population. It's about a couple. Well, let me back up a little bit. I moved back to Columbia to work at a project called Center Place. And it was a building that was rented by Volunteers of America. And we had representatives from several different agencies to provide one-stop shopping for the homeless. And we had mental health, that was me, alcohol and drug addiction abuse. We had reps from VA. Oh, and we had a lady coming down 3 times a week from the our school's center, helping people get their GED. A really good project. But this was a couple that used to come in and hang out, and they'd have a cup of coffee, and they'd sit down and they'd talk with someone, and then they'd leave. And they were just kind of kind of an odd couple, but they were very neat. And so, with any further ado, I'll present the ballad of Sadie and Sam. Well, the first time that I saw Sadie, she was walking in the rain, tapping on the pavement with her silver-headed cane and cussing like a sailor just off the bound in Maine, and Sammy right behind her, like a little dog on a chain. Well, Sammy pulled alongside and he asked her for a light off the cigar she was smoking. Sadie said, all right. So Sammy grabbed it by the end, where the fire was burning bright, and he dropped it in the gutter and just watched it float on out of sight. Damn it, Sadie hollered, is that the best you can do? Having you around, I swear, is like having a bad case of the flu. Sammy said, I'm sorry. But Sadie wasn't through. She was on a roll, bless her soul. She tried to hit him with her shoe. Well, Sammy just stood there staring as if watching for a sign, absorbing all she said in the cotton of his mind. And it really didn't matter that her words were unkind because, well, Sammy was kind of slow, you know, but Sadie was blind. Well, Sadie kept on waging a war of angry words when a car came tearing around the curb. It slid on the pavement and went into a swerve, and it hit it straight for Sadie as she stepped down off the curb. Sammy jumped between them, pushed Sadie to the side. The driver hit the brakes, the car skidded to the right. Sammy slipped and fell. And Sadie felt the touch of fright, and she grabbed hold of her St. Christopher and called on the name of Christ. She heard the brakes squealing. She heard Sammy hit the ground. She heard the driver slam the car door and start cussing Sammy out. She could tell he'd been drinking. The smell left no doubt. Didn't take blind Sadie long to sort the mass confusion out. She swung her cane at the driver's voice, nearly hit his head. Bounced it off the windshield, hit Sammy's knee instead. The driver yelled, "You're crazy." So he said, "You got that right." The driver beat a quick retreat and drove off into the night. Sadie crossed herself, started feeling around, found Sammy and helped him off the ground. the two walked off together beneath the evening stars. Sammy still apologizing for dropping that cigar. Thank you. This is what I call nothing to prove. All I know it must seem when I'm obviously feeling low that I have forgotten all that you've done to try and let me know that you still love me simply for the man that I am. Or realize that in your eyes I've nothing to prove or show. A lifetime of lessons harder than stone it's taken me to learn that simple gifts and pleasures soft are mercies not to be spurned, but taken and given as freely as the seasons keep on turning, like the breath that blows on embers cold and sets them once more to burning. I cannot deny the times that I've failed to see beyond the trials I let fill my mind and pierce my vanity. You reach out and try to console me, still I turn my face away. And though you've every right to go, you're still here at the break of day. When I wake up and I catch the first light of dawn sneaking across your face, well, I know in my mind I'd be hard-pressed to find a truer image of grace. Then I realize that in your eyes I have nothing to prove or show. Thank you. I'll do one that I had a request for. Well, that's not a capo. This is a capo. That's a Band-Aid. Oh, that's another one. I had a request for this next song from someone who I used to sing to sleep with it. And she was a tiny thing, just very tiny. I could put her on my Gibson jumbo guitar and she could lie right here, head here, little feet. dangling over there, and my arm would keep her from falling off most of the time. But I digress as usual. This one's for you, Boog. She's watching. Oh, there's a young cowboy, he lives on the range. His horse and his cattle are his only companions. He works in the sun and he sleeps in the canyon, waiting for summer, his pastures to change. And as the moon rises, he sits by the fire, dreaming about women and glasses of beer, and closing his eyes as the dog is retired. He sings him a song. It's soft, but it's clear, as if maybe someone could hear. Oh, good night, you moonlight ladies, and rock-a-bye, sweet baby James. And deep greens and blues are the colors I choose, and won't you let me go down in my dreams and rock-a-bye, sweet baby James. Oh, the month of December was covered in snow, and so was the turnpike from Stockbridge to Boston. The birches were dreamlike on account of that frosting, with 10 miles behind me and 10,000 more to go. There's a song that they sing when they take to the highway, a song they sing when they take to the sea, a song they sing about a home in the sky. Maybe you can believe it if it helps you to sleep, but singing works just fine for me. Oh, good night, you moonlight ladies, and rock-a-bye, sweet baby James. And deep greens and blues are the colors I choose, and won't you let me go down in my dreams and rock-a-bye, sweet baby James. Thank you, thank you. My watch tells me it's time I move on. And that. Have I got time for another song? Okay, good. This is one written by Woody Guthrie. Unfortunately, it's more relevant today than what's going on in the country than it was when he wrote it. Called Deportee. Oh, the crops are all in, and the peaches are rotting. The oranges are piled in their creosote tops. They're flying us back to the Mexican border. It'll take all our money to way back again. My father's own father, he waded that river. It took all the money he made in his life. My brothers and sisters, they worked in those orchards. They rode that truck till they went down and died. Goodbye, my one, goodbye, Rosalita, adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride that airplane. All they're gonna call you will be deportee. Well, some of us are illegal and some are unwanted. Our work contract's out and now we must leave. 600 miles to the Mexican border. They chase us like rustlers, outlaws and thieves. Goodbye, my one, goodbye, Rosalita, adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride that airplane. All they're gonna call you will be deportee. That sky plane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon, a great ball of lightning that shook all our hills. Who are these dear friends all scattered like dry leaves? And the radio said they was just deportees. Goodbye, my one, goodbye, Rosalita, adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride that airplane. All they're gonna call you will be deportee. Well, is this the best way we can grow our good orchards? Is this the best way we can grow our good crops? To die and be scattered, to rot on the topsoil, and be known by no name except deportee. Thanks to Lena.
Chuck Henderson, everybody. That was great, Chuck. We're going to take a short break, 10 minutes or so, and we'll come back for some more wonderful music.